Hello and welcome to another episode of It's Tea Time. I'm your host, Jonathan Sellers, and we're joined as always by the Director of Athletics for Troy University, John Hartwell. And John, another week, and thanks for being here.
Oh, sure thing, Jonathan. Busy week.
Yeah, I know, and it didn't go quite like you hoped down in Oxford over the weekend. A tough loss to the Rebels, a good Rebel team, but you got to go see Oxford again, and Troy got to go up against the SEC team.
Sure, and certainly Coach Hugh Freeze and his staff have done an outstanding job at Ole Miss, and I thought we competed. Obviously the final score 51-21, a 30-point game, but for the most part I thought we competed during the game. Certainly allowing Ole Miss to score early to get off to a 7-0 lead and coming back and answering that score. But I thought our guys fought hard, certainly top to bottom against a very talented Ole Miss team. And I know I was talking to some of our coaching staff after the game and those folks who were there at the game. The wide receiver core that Ole Miss has is big and strong and physical. It's almost like they're clones of each other, and all about 6'3" or 6'4", about 215 pounds, can jump out of the gym, an old basketball expression there, and very physical receivers. But we battled in the game, and certainly 5-6 now, and we're down to one final regular season game and an off week to kind of get prepared for Texas State, and a huge game for us, not just from perspective of winning or losing, but obviously from a bowl opportunity. And I do think while it's not a lock, if we win that game we get to a bowl, but I think some of the things that happened this past weekend freed up some bowls, and certainly there's a lot of football left to be played.
Right.
But I think there very well could be a home for us should we when we get to that 6th win next Friday. And I know it's the day after Thanksgiving, the holidays, our students will be off campus, but those Rebel folks, those Trojan folks that are out there, certainly we want to make sure as many folks come out as can.
Well, we won't have a show next week, so we'll go ahead and get in depth into that game. They're facing Texas State, a new team into the Sun Belt. Don't know a whole lot about them. I'm sure the coaches have watched a lot of tape and are going to be ready, but do you know what we can expect from Texas State?
Well, Coach Dennis Francione and obviously the folks in the state of Alabama are familiar with him, and they've had a good season. They played at Arkansas State this past Saturday. I believe it was a 21-all game at halftime. They ended up losing 35-21. But they do have 6 wins. They've beat a couple of pretty good teams. They beat Wyoming, I believe, on the road. They beat Southern Miss. They've got some wins under their belt, so we'll have to come out and play well. 1 o'clock kickoff. We're going to have some promotional type things. You bring a toy, you get in free to the game, and please go to TroyTrojans.com, to look at the opportunities for that game. But we need as many Trojan fans out as we can for that 1 o'clock kickoff on the Friday after Thanksgiving.
Well, and you've talked a little bit about going to a bowl, and going to a bowl is great. It's great for the fans to get a chance to go out and see their team one more time during the year, but it's also a great chance for the team itself. They get that extra practice time, and that's great for the younger players that maybe redshirting or just the freshmen in general.
Certainly, 3 weeks additional practice time helps everybody involved, and as you mentioned, the underclassmen getting that opportunity, the additional repetitions at practice from a recruiting standpoint, again, because the mentions on television during the bowl season, certainly the 3.5 hours of a live bowl broadcast, and a reward for our student athletes, who have worked hard, and the opportunity to go to a bowl and the various functions they have with it and the gifts. So again, all that's a moot point unless we take care of business next Friday against Texas State, and certainly something our team and coaching staff is working towards right now.
All right, well, let's take a little bit of a look at basketball. Both teams with tough losses last week to end the week. The women to Tennessee State on Friday here at home with a good crowd for that turnout, and then the men to UAB on Thursday night.
Yeah, and I actually went to that UAB game Thursday night in Birmingham on my way to Oxford for the football game, and it was a case. And I turned to our radio guys who were sitting next to me on press row, and I said, "Gosh, this is deja vu to football season. We give up an early lead. We end up UAB went on a 26-6 run to start the game, so we were down by 20. We cut that lead to 4 twice and ended up losing. I think it was 71-59 was the final. Ended up losing by 12. But a lot of positive things to take away from that game. Again, after that initial stretch, well, we had probably the last 10 minutes of the first half, played some outstanding defense, forced UAB into some turnovers, and really played well as a team. And maybe the brightest spot out of the entire game was the play of junior Kevin Thomas.
Right.
19.7 rebounds. And really, UAB used 3 different guys on him defensively, and they could not stop him in the post. Obviously, an area coming into his first season that Coach Phil Cunningham was worried about the presence of a significant scorer and rebounder inside in the post. And Kevin Thomas, who's a junior college kid from originally from Toronto by way of junior college in Miami, and he really appears to be stepping into that role.
Very good. And UAB is not a slouch. I mean, they're a good team. So for us to battle back and come back to bring that game within a decent margin was good.
Absolutely. Just I think 2 or 3 nights before we played UAB, they beat Rutgers. So they're a legitimate team and will be a contender this year in Conference USA. So if we continue building on that, I look for big things out of this basketball team. Certainly an opportunity this evening. I think about the time we're airing tonight, the Trojans will be tipping up here at home in Trojan Arena against Nicholls State.
And what's in store for the women's basketball team?
Women's basketball, again, as you said, they'd gotten off to a 2-0 start. I was not at the game on Friday, but I understand they really went into a cold streak in terms of shooting, had some unforced turnovers too, but I know Coach Shanda Rigby and her strive for perfection, they will be ready to play. And you know, you talk about upcoming home games. Mark this date on the calendar. Wednesday, December 4th, the Florida Gators come in here to play Coach Shanda Rigby in the Trojan women's basketball. So that should be quite a fun day. I think that's a 7 o'clock tip.
And we know SEC teams don't have a lot of success in Trojan Arena in the one game so far they've lost, but that'll be an exciting game. And now we'll talk about that. We'll come back after Thanksgiving break and have an SEC time that we can talk about that. Volleyball is, they had a good weekend. They beat Georgia State to secure their spot in the Sun Belt tournament, which we'll be hosting this week.
Right, they did. And actually, after a midseason slump, volleyball has won 3 of their last 4. End up in 8th place during the regular season in conference, and starting Thursday morning, we host the Sun Belt Conference Volleyball Championship. I believe it's 7 p.m. that we will play against Western Kentucky, the #1 seed, and a very good team. I think Western Kentucky is 25-4 on the season. In talking to Sonny the other day, he said, hey, even if Western Kentucky were to lose in the Sun Belt tournament, the likelihood is that they would receive an at-large NCAA bid. So a very formidable foe, but hopefully with the home court advantage and a good Trojan crowd, we can upset them in the first round of the tournament.
And even if you can't make it to that game, which we hope you can, there's still games throughout the weekend, including the Sun Belt Championship.
Sure. Quarterfinals Thursday, so there'll be 4 matches Thursday, 2 on Friday, the semifinals, and then the finals on Saturday. And I believe it's a 1 o'clock start for that match. So a lot of volleyball action going on with the Sun Belt Conference Championships this weekend.
And a sport we haven't talked a lot about is the rodeo team. And I know they're not an NCAA sanctioned sport, but they're still one that we have here at Troy University and we're proud of. And they're going to be at home for the first time this year. Absolutely.
We have the Trojan Stampede Thursday, Friday, and Saturday this week out at the Cattlemen's Association on 231, just south of the city of Troy. And our rodeo team, both the men's and women's teams, looking to compete and be successful in this event with collegiate rodeo teams from all over the Southeast competing.
All right, and we're going to wrap this up one more time with the final look at the final home game of the year and the final football game of the year next Friday. Give us the time again.
Sure, Texas State, Friday, 1 p.m. kick. So get in your doorbuster Black Friday shopping early in the morning. Come out and tailgate and enjoy Trojan football. Be senior day. You know, you can't say enough about these seniors, and I won't be able to name them all, but you look at guys like Will Scott, place kicker and punter. He's one of the 10 finalists for the Ray Guy Award this year. Actually, the only non-BCS kicker who is a finalist. So quite an achievement there for Will. Certainly, Corey Robinson moves into 8th place on the all-time FBS career passing yardage list this past Saturday. He surpassed Colt McCoy from Texas, and he also became one of just 4 guys in FBS history to throw for 3,000 yards 4 consecutive years. So a tremendous career for Corey Robinson. Last opportunity to see him at home. And then his favorite receiver, Eric Thomas, again, career leader in touchdown receptions in the Sun Belt Conference, all kinds of other records he set. So those guys, and along with so many other seniors who've meant so much to this Troy football program, let's get out and support them, be here on Senior Day, and certainly get behind this team and help make them bowl eligible. And
you said there will be some promotions, and just stay tuned to TroyTrojans.com for information on those?
Absolutely. Some ticket discounts and some opportunities, not only to get ticket discounts or free tickets, but also to help some people during the holiday season as well.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us, and have a happy holidays and happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks, you too, Jonathan.
All right. Stay tuned for what's coming up in Troy sports. Now on It's Tea Time, we're going to take a look at the men's basketball team, and we're joined today by the Director of Basketball Operations for the men, and that's Mike Worley. And Mike, thank you for being here today.
You're welcome. Thanks, Jonathan.
And y'all took on UAB last Thursday, and UAB got out to a big run, and but y'all were able to fight back. What did y'all do to make that game close?
You're right. We got off to a slow start, but we did a good job coming back. We basically played better defense, and we challenged shots a little better, and were able in transition to convert some of the baskets that we had opportunities to score. So overall, we got off to a slow start, but that second 10-minute span of the first half, we played well. And
do you think facing a team like UAB is a kind of a good indication of some of the stronger teams you'll face throughout the season?
Boy, that's a very good question. You know, UAB is in the upper third of the Conference USA, right, which really, Jonathan, is, you know, it's a very good league. So we gave a fair account. We're going to be better than we were there, but they're very good, and obviously it was on their home court, and we made some strides, but we also didn't do some things very well that we need to improve, and we'll try to do that tonight.
Okay. And Kevin Thomas was a guy who really stood out in that game, had a great game offensively, and he's been impressive so far this year, and just a newcomer to the team as a junior college transfer. Just talk about the impact he's made on the team.
Yeah, Kevin's a really good kid. You know, he's a great kid. He listens. He's very, in basketball parlance or verbiage, he's very skilled. And a skilled person in basketball means, you know, he's 6'8", and he dribbles the ball well and shoots out to distance to the three-point line pretty well. So he does little things. He understands the game. He understands when to screen, when to post, how to help his teammate get open. So he has a good feel for how the game, quote-unquote feel for how the game should be played. So combining his great work ethic and his good attitude with his feel for the game, we think he can be a very good player, you know, for us and in this league.
You only see him getting better as the year goes along, as he gets more experience.
Right. He's a community college transfer who is a good student, and he's from Canada originally.
Right.
And so he will his quote unquote his upside, his ability to be better as the year goes on, we think is very good.
Now, something that the team is kind of having to deal with is some injuries on the bench, and maybe your bench isn't quite as deep as you would hope it would be. What is the impact that has made on the team so far?
Well, you know, what it does is it allows guys that are healthy and that can contribute to step up and to learn what their role is and how they can participate and how they could add to what we're trying to do as a team. So we plan on those guys that are coming off the bench and not necessarily in the starting 5 rotation to be contributors, beginning with, you know, Nicholls State tonight. That's going to be important that everybody show up and be able to contribute.
Now, what do you know about that Nicholls State team that you'll be facing?
Nicholls State's very unique. They give teams that are much bigger than they are trouble. You know, they've played Auburn, they've played North Texas, and they're very unique in what they try to run offensively. So we'll have to play very well defensively. We'll have to rebound. We'll have to be good on the offensive end, and it's another opportunity in Trojan Arena to take another step forward with our program and get a win, hopefully.
All right, Mike. Well, thank you for joining us, and good luck against Nicholls State.
Thank you. Appreciate being here.
And now on It's Tea Time, we're going to take a look at the Troy Rodeo team, and we're going to be joined by the coach of the rodeo team, and that's Josh Simmons. And Coach, thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
And you're here this week because y'all got a pretty important rodeo this weekend, and that's your annual home rodeo. And just for fans who don't know much about it, just give us some details.
Yeah, this is our only home event. It's our 11th year doing it, and it starts Thursday night, and Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night. And there'll be 11 colleges represented from Missouri, Arkansas, Kentucky, Tennessee, Alabama, and Mississippi represented here this weekend, starting Thursday.
And it's at the Pike County Cattlemen's Association.
Yes.
And that's just right down 231. What is the admission for the rodeo?
Adults are $10. Students are children are 7 and 12 and under free.
Okay. And just for fans who don't know really what to expect, or maybe have never been to a rodeo, what are they going to find there?
It's just like your average PRCA rodeo. We've got everything from breakaway roping, goat tying, the barrel racing for the ladies, and then everybody's favorite for the guys event, which is bull riding. Right. And of course, the saddle bronc riding and bareback riding and calf roping, team roping, and steer wrestling. And
this is the last rodeo of the fall, am I correct?
Yes, yes.
So you've got the whole spring season ahead of you. What are y'all going to be looking forward to end the fall? I mean, you want to win, of course, but I mean, what are your expectations?
Well, we've got a lot of momentum coming into this rodeo, and we hope to maintain that, and that'll help us also going into the spring rodeo. But you just got to take them one at a time, and we just prepare for this one and prepare for what it is, and hope for the best.
Your women have been really successful so far this year. They've won 3 out of their 4. They're in the lead in the Ozark region. The men are 7th overall, but your women just have been really outstanding. What has been behind that?
Oh, they're tough. They're just hard-working athletes. They eat, breathe, and sleep rodeo, I'm telling you, and that makes a big difference.
All right, and just one more time for fans out there, when is the rodeo, where is it at, and what can we expect?
The Trojan Stampede starts this weekend Thursday night at 7 o'clock at the Pike County Cattlemen's Complex, which is on 231 South. And then again, Friday night at 7, and we have a short go matinee at 4 o'clock on Saturday.
All right, Coach, well, thanks for joining us, and hopefully you have a good turnout for the rodeo.
Thank you very much.
All right, and stay tuned for some volleyball on It's Tea Time. Welcome to our final look at Trojan sports, and it's tea time with Coach Sonny Kirkpatrick, talking a little bit about the volleyball team who got a big win on Friday that secured their spot in the Sun Belt tournament that they'll be hosting this weekend. Coach, that win over Georgia State I know was an exciting one for you to lock up that spot in the tournament.
It sure was. Unfortunately, it's been a long time coming. We would like to have clinched a little bit earlier, but we kind of put ourselves in a situation to have to win one of the last 2, and luckily for us, we were able to do that.
And then you kind of, momentum has turned for y'all. Y'all were on a little bit of a slump, but then winning 3 out of your last 4, it's kind of got to be a good feeling going into the tournament.
It is. We had played well at points through that streak. I kind of was going through the numbers, and we lost 5 matches by a total of 12 points.
Wow.
So 12 points were the difference from us being an 8 seed or us possibly being as high as a 3 or 2. So we've got some things to work on. I think we're a little better than an 8 seed, but we are what we are, and we're excited about hosting and playing here at home in front of the crowd and showing our fans that we really want to try to advance through the tournament.
And the tournament begins this Thursday.
It does.
Right.
It starts at 12 o'clock.
All right.
The first match is Arkansas State against Arkansas Little Rock, and we've got 4 really great matches. So for folks that really like to get out and watch volleyball, I'm not going to find very much better, especially in this area.
Right.
So come on out and get a chance to watch some really good teams.
And you'll be playing at 7 o'clock against the top seed, and that's Western Kentucky. And they're a tough team, and Troy has never beaten them. But what better chance than here at home in the Sun Belt tournament? Right.
I mean, we've never really. I think we've won 1 set off of them through our history of playing them. So they're a well-coached team. They're a really experienced team. Very good all-around team. Their seniors have been to the NCAA tournament every year that they've been there. They won their first match last year and played Stanford in the second round, and Stanford's a perennial top 5 team. So we know we've got our work cut out for us. We love playing at home in front of our crowd, and anything can happen on any day.
Well, besides just the crowd factor, what are some of the benefits about having the tournament here as opposed to having to travel somewhere to play in?
Just familiarity. We know our arena. We get to be in our locker room. we get to eat in a dining facility that we always eat in, and there's nothing new, nothing strange. Now, naturally, the team likes to go out and eat and stay in hotels and do stuff like that, but there's something said to be in your own bed and in your own environment, and we're looking forward to the challenge.
All right, Coach. Well, good luck coming up on Thursday, and we wish you the best, and hopefully we'll be talking about some wins.
Thanks, Jonathan.
All right, and thank you for joining us for It's Tea Time, and we'll take a break next week, but we'll be back in December for our last installment of It's Tea Time for this semester.